Okay, hello. This is a lesson on the fundamental principles and techniques for alpine ski racing. All right. I presented this document before in a YouTube video, but what I did was um, I did the whole lesson. It took about an hour. I think it was a little bit too much to digest all at once. So this time I'm going to break it up into smaller pieces and I'll also add some videos so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. The key new thing is the video that I'll show you. I have to get that ready. All right. So as an introduction, in this analysis of alpine ski racing, I'll first explain some fundamental concepts. I'll then explain several fundamental techniques, which are really based upon multiple specific techniques. All right, so let me read through the fundamental concepts. All right, so this is my outline for the whole lesson. All right, fundamental concept number one, the key to skiing technique is understanding energy management, how to control and utilize energy properly. All right, and what types of energy. The second fundamental concept we're going to cover involves understanding principles of velocity, acceleration, force application, the effect of inertia, and minimizing the production of waste energies. All right. Waste energies are going to take away from your speed and thus increase your race times, making you finish slow. The third fundamental concept is maximizing the distribution of force application, right? Why that's important. And then the final fundamental concept is a vector analysis of forces, acceleration, and inertia, and how they interplay with each other here. All right. Now, uh, the underlying knowledge here is a knowledge of physics and chemistry. Okay. All right. Even if you're not a chemistry major or a physics major, I'll try to make it simple and it's important to understand. All right. So these fundamental techniques, I'm not going to read through them now. I'll cover it later. All right. So the only thing I'll cover today is fundamental concept number one, energy management. All right. So to begin, an alpine ski racer must have a working knowledge of the different types of energies involved in ski racing, including, all right, there's six here I list. Potential energy, which is stored energy, based on your position on the mountain. All right. So your highest amount of stored energy is at the very top, and the lowest is at the very bottom at the finish line. Okay, that should be pretty common sense and obvious. For example, this guy here has his highest potential energy. If he fell or whatever, that would be converted to kinetic energy of motion. All right. Potential energy, stored energy within a ski. This is the spring energy stored within a flex ski. So here is a picture of a ski that is unflexed, but when you put it on edge, if you lay this on edge and you put it in a turn, a nice carve, all right, it'll flex the ski like this and it'll be like a spring. All right. When you do that, you store energy. Now, if you can utilize that energy, convert that back into kinetic energy, well, you're gonna go faster and stand a better chance of winning the race, right? So all this flex energy, you got to kick it back out as kinetic energy. All right. All right, kinetic energy, energy of motion of the skier's body. The faster motion is greater kinetic energy. So here's a guy going fast, and I try to pick a picture which has blurred images to kind of show that, man, he's this guy's hauling, right? So the faster you go, the more kinetic energy you have. All right, kinetic energy, a stone that is thrown, you don't want this. This is not going to help you out. All right, this is waste energy. Latent energy, which is stored or hidden energy when ice bonds are broken. Well, this is waste energy too. This is not going to help you. Thermal energy created by friction of the ski upon the snow. So thermal energy is really the kinetic energy of particles that make up matter, all the atoms and molecules. Thus, thermal energy is a kind of it's kind of a form of microkinetic energy, right? All right, so latent energy here. Oh, I wanted to mention this. So this latent energy that's stored when ice bonds are broken. So this is water molecules, and when they're bonded together, this forms ice. This is solid. Here's H2O. There's oxygen, two hydrogens, H2O, right? And here's another water, H2O, right? And you see there's a bond here. It's called a hydrogen bond between a hydrogen and the oxygen of another atom. All right. When these form, it forms ice. When you break them, it takes energy. So it's like consuming energy. That energy is being taken away from your kinetic energy. All right. You don't want to do that. You want to maintain as much kinetic energy because that means you're going to maintain as much speed. So a key concept is energy conversion, right? And you can also talk about energy conservation, right? So the idea is energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. All right, so you want to convert this potential energy into maximum kinetic energy and avoid these waste energies. So your energy goal is to maximize the conversion of potential energy, which is maximum at the top of the mountain, into kinetic energy of the skier's body. To do this, one must minimize the conversion of kinetic energy of the skier into waste energies, which include kinetic energy of snow being thrown, right? Now that's energy of motion of the snow. That's not helping you, right? That's taken away from your speed. So if you see a skier throwing a lot of snow, you know he's bleeding a lot of energy. He's wasting a lot of energy, and that's slowing him down. Latent energy, stored or hidden energy when ice bonds are broken, right? So typically when you see snow being thrown, it's because these ice bonds are first broken, right? And that took energy. That's wasting energy. Thermal energy created by friction upon the ski, upon the snow. All right, again, that's a waste energy. All right, so the process is you start with a maximum potential energy at the top of the hill. You want to convert this all to kinetic energy of the skier because that's going to be converted into increased speed, which is going to mean faster times, and you stand a better chance of winning. All right, so you want to avoid, I have these X here, you want to avoid converting to these waste energies, one of which is kinetic energy, a snow that is thrown, latent energy, stored hidden energy when ice bonds are broken, thermal energy created by friction upon the ski upon the snow, especially from skidding. All right, creating these energies will kill speed. I mentioned something about skidding and sliding friction down here. All right, so useful energies, just as a final review to summarize, you have three useful energies. One is the potential energy when you're at the top of the mountain. This is useful because it can be converted to kinetic energy, right, which translates into speed. Potential energy stored within a ski. All right, it's stored when the ski is flexed. This is useful energy because it can be converted into kinetic energy, right? And then, of course, kinetic energy of the skier's body, because the greater the kinetic energy means greater speeds, which results in faster times. All right, pretty simple concepts. Now, the waste energies are latent or stored energy when shear force is exceeded and ice bonds are broken. Kinetic energy is snow that is thrown, and then thermal energy created by friction of the ski upon the snow, especially when skidding. All right. So I will distinguish between sliding friction when the ski is sliding over the snow during carving, and scraping friction when you throw your skis sideways and they scrape kind of like a hockey stop or a check stop, right? And you're going into new term, which increases the friction, but it's very close to shear force, and a lot of shear force is occurring because you're breaking a lot of bonds too when you're doing this, right? So it's very closely related to shear force and breaking bonds here. All right. In either case, all these energies are waste energies and they slow you down. You want to develop techniques to avoid this, which we'll talk about. All right. That's it for lesson number one. Pretty simple. Just know basic understanding of different types of energy throughout this whole lesson.